Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Did that sound disgusting? I'm sorry, I wanted to get your attention. To let you know that we're broadcasting this live. Unless, of course, you're not watching it after it's gone live, but that's okay. You're still welcome to enjoy the video that you're watching right now. I have no idea what's going to happen. I know what I am going to do, and that is to talk about some stories that we published today on LockerGnome.com, where we love sharing stories and smart solutions. Feel free to read along with me there, LockerGnome.com. Pretty easy to do. And then please, welcome the Gnomies. We got Yamazaru Ninja 8420, Squirrel, Ed's Computer Support, JR89, C. Condon, Daniel Bushore, Kyle K, Danny Harrington, Jenford, Poimo, John Frederick, Stacy P, Tech Guru, Simba, Magic Tracks, Right Noob, Eric, Tyler Biedka, and then, of course, we have those of you who are watching YouTube right now for the LockerGnome Daily Report. That's TLDR for short. And we do it every weekday, and thank you for tuning in. And I know we have regular viewers beyond the Gnomies, including the Gnomies like Eric and Micaiah and Jamie Bouch and Blue Gator. We've got a few of you out there watching. And on YouTube, it is I Chan Ming, Nate Thibodeau, the Craig ID, One Radical Dude, Technoreos, Ace of Spiders, 2000 EGAW. We also have Paul Croft 77. How you doing? Mr. King Naz. Mr. King Naz is one of the people who have been lucky enough to, I guess, receive something from us. He took part in a giveaway that we did, and I think he was very grateful for getting a prize for participating. We do it, I would say, randomly, as the opportunities arise. Just making sure I stay hydrated for you. I'd hate to pass a... I'm better now. It's important to stay hydrated. It is. I'll do my best not to bang on the desk today, because I've come to understand that as much as annoys you, this does as well. The problem is I'm Italian, and I tend to communicate with my hands. You're lucky I don't reach out and slap you. You like that, don't you? You like it when I slap you. You know what else you like? I have barking spiders in the house. I don't know if you guys have those where you live, but they're pretty prevalent in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in my home office when I have chili for lunch. Ew? You're the one who fed it to me.
People were actually concerned about me.
They were concerned about me? Oh. Actually, I probably should have passed out after the barking spider ran through the room. It's hard. They're hard to catch, too. Okay, all silliness aside, let's go ahead and get serious for just a brief moment for the 139 people who are watching right now. We've got a few things queued up, including something that could be fun to talk about, an alien invasion. We've got some interesting stories on LockerGnome, that is true. So let's find out how you could use the internet to predict an alien invasion. Let's. This is going to be a fun discussion, I think. Have you ever been visited by a UFO, an alien? You may subscribe to the theory of ancient astronauts. It's interesting to read about or to watch. You've probably seen the broadcasts on TV or by way of the web. All these theories that surface, and a lot of it is hooey. But, I can't dismiss everything that's put forth. There's a lot of stuff we can't explain. about our planet and our universe. But we've talked about it at times in the past. If alien life exists, there really is no definitive answer to that question, but it is kind of fun to talk about. Here's something that might interest you geeks. Could you use the internet to predict an alien invasion? What does this have to do with your life? To set the stage, as we've posted the story on LockerGnome.com, suppose you're outside at night with some friends, or a potential special friend that you want to impress in a private way. You start the event by saying you have a hunch about a nova that might light up the night sky right there. And let's say you're pointing. Nova are rare and very special, so seeing one would be a treat of a lifetime, potentially. As you point, a sudden light appears right there in the sky, and it's more than 10 times as bright as Venus at its brightest, which is very bright. The lights last for a few seconds while your audience gasps, and then the light disappears. Not much so far as nova go. You shrug, assume a nonchalant air, and immediately change the subject. With luck, they will not notice a slight motion of the light, which would immediately show that it is not a star, but a satellite. You can think of other scenarios based on your mysterious ability to predict sudden, very bright lights at a particular place and time. For instance, you can claim an alien invasion has started, with ships warping out of hyperspace. Oops, here comes one now. So you could use technology to impress people. You can say, if we look over there, we're going to see something really interesting. And then something happens. And they'd wonder, what's going on? How did you know that was going to happen? Because you may have used software, like knowing where the current position of the International Space Station happened to be. It's really not too much of a challenge if you just know a little bit. So no, you couldn't predict an alien invasion, but you could probably trick a few of your gullible friends into believing that, oh my god, I'm confident. I don't know what that is. I swear, it was moving back and forth. Did you see it? It was moving back and forth. They're coming! They're coming! And they're bringing anal probes! Yay! Well, not that I'm excited about anal probes or anything. Take a look at the rest of the story to see how you can have some funs with your friends and using technology without anal probes. Right there on LockerGnome.com. Unless, of course, you want to bring anal probes with you. Don't let me know if you do, though. Just click the link.
Anal probe.
Yay, anal probes. Oh, boy. Oh, you knew the anal probe discussion was going to happen, guys. You just knew. As soon as I said aliens, you're thinking aliens, anal probes. Oh, by the way, we forgot to tell people, thank you for the 82 people who have liked this video, and for the 40 people who have plus one it. I'm going to like the video too. I'm also going to plus one it so that people know we're broadcasting live, and I'm going to say, I can't believe it's almost Monday. Can you believe that? It's almost Monday.
Carl sent us a gift.
Carl sent us a gift?
He said
Carl!
we had
Oh, wait, gift's a good
mailbox
thing, right?
gifts, yeah.
It is a good... Boy, I'm just full of gas today. I got it coming out of both ends. Speaking of both ends, let's go ahead and head over to Facebook and post on my Facebook page saying the same thing. Can't believe it's almost Monday. To the 64,593 people who like me in a public way. They subscribe to the Facebook page. They've also going to go ahead and post that to Facebook or YouTube. Twitter! There's a difference as well. Tech Guru, no! Bad. Where's my squirt gun? Bad. So you're going to put the song in everybody's head. All right. Not like I'm acting any worse. Thank you for, I think it's Innovative RN. Was that his, I think that's pretty sure that's his handle. He sent this to me. It's the Imperial badge. It's actually like a patch that's in between pieces of plastic, so that will never wear down in the glass. It's kind of unique. Kind of nice. Interesting. 165 people watching live, right? 167, sorry. But it jumped up as soon as I started talking about anal probes. I got a weird audience. It was in relation to the alien video, in case you're wondering about that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next article on LockerGnome.com and talk about how to deal with forgotten Windows passwords. At the tail end of just about every one of the videos that we publish on LockerGnome, the ones that we record on YouTube, the live TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report, I end it with a simple gesture. This, a 3-finger salute saying, "We'll you later." It's pretty simple. But I also tell you about one of the web pages that I happen to have on one of my websites, live.pirillo.com. And there, we've got interesting conversations happening in the chat room that's sewn into the live video feed that's actually happening right now. Not just this live broadcast, but the other one as well. What's interesting about that live video feed now is that we have the Gnomies as a part of a TeamSpeak server, and they're chatting back and forth, talking about various topics. Well, one of them brought up the topic of how to deal with a forgotten Windows password. And we thought, how could you deal with something that you've forgotten like that? Imagine if you hadn't used a PC for so long and you forgot the password that you set up for it. You couldn't get back in there, even if you needed to get back in there. And there are ways to work around the problem. Of course, my number one suggestion is use the same password in your home computers, not necessarily on your notebook computers, the computers that you would take away from the house, or at least have a user account that you set up on those computers that you know the password to and that you're going to remember throughout the years. Make it, complex, but also make it simple enough so that with repetition, you're not going to forget it. And then, of course, you can set a password hint for yourself. There are some suggestions we make for recovering the data from that computer if you can't remember that Windows password, including using Ubuntu. I don't know if you'd consider that. There are different instructions for 32-bit Windows or 64-bit versions of Windows. And there are also applications that, beyond the precautionary methods as we've outlined on the article on LockerGnome.com, which is linked somewhere in the description. Feel free to click it and share it with someone who's lost their Windows password. Maybe not today, but in the future, we've covered it. There's Oathcrack. You can create a live CD for it, boot from it. Now, here's the thing. That should scare you. Because if you can use software to get to a forgotten Windows password, you're using it for legitimate reasons. Someone, yourself included, and I would never condone this kind of practice, could use it for illegitimate reasons. Setting up several security measures are important. It's not just a password. You've got to put several measures in place when it comes to protecting your data, your sensitive data, things that you wouldn't want the world to know. And we've listed a couple of other preventative measures. My recommendation, though, is that you don't do like what my dad did that one day and pulled out his little piece of paper and showed it to the world, and all the passwords were on that piece of paper. And I even asked him beforehand, like, do you have anything on there? No, it's fine. And it wasn't fine, but I'm very grateful that many of you in our community were very protective of my dad. Thank you. And you said, Chris, you may want to tell him to change those passwords. He did, and he's no longer writing them down on a piece of paper. My recommendation, use a password management tool. I'm a huge fan of 1Password. Others have recommended, I think, LastPass being another one. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. You're going to have a favorite after trying a few of them. Hopefully you've tried a few of them, whether you pay for them or you get them for free. The bottom line is there are ways to recover that Windows password without having to reformat. So keep that in mind the next time this happens to you or someone you know. Let's just see if this is a familiar story to you. You buy a new PC, you install a couple of programs that you normally install, maybe a new, different web browser, maybe some communication software, and a week later, without installing any new hardware, anything out of the ordinary, suddenly you are smacked with blue screens. New computer, not a lot of software that's out of the ordinary, not a lot of, fringe hardware with wacky drivers, blue screens. a week after buying a new PC. Has that happened to you? Have you ever bought a new computer and it just crashes on you without warning? That's got to be frustrating. Why? Why is it blue screening? Yes, you could step through all the troubleshooting tips that we may have shared with you at any points in the past. This has happened just recently with one of our contributors on LockerGnome.com, Harold. He talked about his old computers a couple of weeks ago. We shared those stories and asked you which computers you had and the oldest ones that are still running. He went and bought a new PC, and he's ready to tear that thing apart. Literally, destroy the computer. He is so frustrated with his new computer. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't get a new computer and then have it crashing on you. And granted, and I even asked him this, usually instabilities are introduced when bad software, specifically drivers, are introduced to the scenario. My belief is that the OEM, which he does detail in the LockerGnome article, I'm not going to call it out here in this video, and really it could be any OEM, threw a bunch of software on the system. The drivers are probably unoptimized. This is the number one reason Windows doesn't work. It's not because Windows doesn't inherently work, it's just that PC manufacturers kind of suck at putting it together in a seamless experience. And I would not say a new computer that's crashing without the introduction of any new hardware or just introducing run-of-the-mill software would introduce blue screens, or certainly shouldn't. The cleanest Windows experience that I've ever had has always been a virtual machine. Whether VMware, VirtualBox, Parallels, it's always been stable. The moment you introduce third-party software, that's when all hell breaks loose. So what should Harold do? Do you think he should throw this into the scrap pile? I wouldn't recommend that. That's just kind of like throwing money away. Do you think he should go with a new computer altogether? Of course, the manufacturer is probably going to say, well, it's not our fault. Windows blue screens. It's not my fault. And Microsoft, of course, is going to say, well, it's not our fault. They wrote the software. See, they play this thing called the blame game. It's one of the reasons why the PC industry is on a downward slide, because they blame everybody else, including the people who bought the computer. It's not the way to treat your customers. What should Harold do? He's got this PC. He wanted a PC running Windows, and it's just kind of blowing up in his face. Not, obviously, literally. But blue screens, not so much fun to deal with. And I'd be curious to know what you think Harold should do in this scenario as a new PC owner who is just up to here with frustration. Actually, he's probably more up to here. Maybe here. All right. Chris, the effing man Pirillo. Well, thank you. And thank you for the 200. Okay, there's a disconnect here, guys. There's a major disconnect, guys. Look at this. We have 209 people watching. You can see that 209 people watching this live YouTube video, but only 126 likes. What are 80 of you doing? I know what they're doing. This is what they're doing. I'm liking the video. I'm liking it. No, that's not how you like the video. You're supposed to use the thumbs up. Like this, Chris? Yeah, like that. This is how you thumbs up the video. You press the like button. You go to the video page and you press the... It's really not that much of a challenge. And then +1 it, too, while you're at it. And the reason why you would +1 it is because then it may show up in Google search results at some point in the future when you're searching for information that we've covered in this video. So long as we've tagged it appropriately. So let's go ahead, and now that we've explained how not to thumbs up a video and how to thumbs up a video, talking about technical questions and how you might respond. Give me a second. I think, despite geeks like you or me getting frustrated when people ask us technical questions, we should be honored that someone would turn to us for advice. But answering technical questions can sometimes be a great challenge. So, as we've detailed in the story on LockerGnome.com, as we've linked in the video's description, technical questions. How should you respond? And let me give you a scenario. Here's how not to respond to a technical question. Okay, Diana, ask me a technical question.
Why does my iPad charge slowly?
Why does your iPad charge slowly? Because you shouldn't buy an iPad.
Okay,
That's why.
interesting.
It's a bad. Do you understand? That was a bad answer. Okay, now try it again.
Do you know why my iPad charges so slowly?
Your iPad may be charging slowly because there may not be enough power flowing through the adapter. We may try a different adapter to see if that speed things up. So it may charge slower in a USB port on a computer compared to a dedicated adapter. It could, come down to that. This is the primary reason why it may be charging slower on one connection versus another. One instance, it could be, I doubt it would be the cable, but not all cables are created equal, as we've covered before. So we can try a couple of different variations to see if that speeds things up for you.
Awesome.
You guys get that? I was listening to her problem instead of projecting my own bias on top of it. It's like someone says, I'm having this problem. And then someone else pipes up and says, I'm not having the problem. Okay, that doesn't help at all. It's difficult to answer technical questions. And sometimes what it boils down to is knowing the other person's needs. When someone asks you a generic question, if Diana were to ask me, Chris, should I buy an iPad or should I wait for a Windows 8 tablet PC? Well, I would ask a few more qualifying questions to get an answer out of her. Well, Diana, what are you going to use this for? And if she said, well, just surfing the web, checking email, maybe playing a couple games, I would probably recommend going with, today, an iPad. Because we haven't seen Windows 8 tablet PC ship, and I really doubt they're going to ship with the same specs as even a baseline iPad, a $499 16-gig Wi-Fi only iPad. They're not going to ship with a price point that low unless they were subsidized by Microsoft, and believe me, Microsoft could pull it off. I bet Windows 8 PCs are probably going to be more expensive. And if her needs are that simple, you got to think about the person who's asking the question. But if she threw in there, but I also think I want to use Microsoft Office and still use a couple of Windows applications, I may recommend Windows 8, with the caveat that it may not be as usable on a tablet experience as it would be on the desktop for the concessions and the compromises that Microsoft is making with Windows 8. You've got to take in so many bits of information from the person who's asking the question before you can fully answer the question. That's why it is impossible to answer some of the very simplistic questions that get asked even in this channel by people who are technically minded. They ask, which one should I get? I'm like, I've got to ask you 50 more questions before I can give you a qualifying answer. There's so many variables that you have to consider, and this is one of the things that we've faced, and we've outlined better ways that you can respond to technical questions that you're getting asked. Take a look at the description here for this video to take a look at the story on LockerGnome.com, and if you like it, feel free to share it. And if you have any other recommendations or suggestions, well, let us know.
Bingo. I know. Should I get an iMac?
Should you get an iMac? I'd probably wait, if only because you don't use the MacBook a lot. You stick to the iPad or the iPhone. So, there's no inherent need to have an iMac. There's nothing that it's going to do differently than you're doing now. We've got plenty of computers, of course, around here. Even something like this iMac would service you well, and it's not being used frequently enough, versus a new iMac, which offers maybe a bit more, but you got to think about what your primary use case scenario is. And if you're mostly on an iPad or an iPhone with an existing MacBook, it's not that MacBook that you have is any it's no slouch. It's a good computer. It's a solid computer, but you just don't use it frequently.
When I bought my MacBook, I was going back and forth
between the two. You chose the right thing.
Yeah.
You did.
So glad I did.
You did. I chose the wrong thing because I was even thinking, this was years ago when I got an iMac G5. I was thinking, should I go with the iMac or the MacBook? And I thought, like a typical PC user, well, the iMac's faster. It's got more specs. You get more for your money. But I never used it.
Yeah.
Because it was always somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And had I had the MacBook, I'd be able to move it around with me and do things with it. I had a use case for it. So I wouldn't say that your current use scenario would dictate in getting an iMac.
Yeah.
Not at this point. Not at this point. This is after TLDR, so I know she'll see the question. Chris, is she using the new iPad? If so, that battery's almost twice as condensed and requires more charging time. No, she's not. She did not get a new iPad. And honestly, I'm telling other people, if they can wait. The iPad 2 it's ample. It's just as fast. If you only use the FaceTime camera like the one that's facing towards you, you don't need to upgrade because they didn't upgrade that camera. And if you don't do a lot of video recording at the back, and very few people do, there's no reason to upgrade it for the camera. The screen is crisper. The battery lasts about the same time, does take longer to charge. It gets a little warmer, but nothing that's uncomfortable. But that screen is beautiful. No doubt about it. But in terms of the average user, I see no reason they would really want to upgrade from iPad 2 to the next gen iPad. That may change. If they introduce something dramatically better, faster, whatever, in the next new iPad, then it may make a compelling upgrade. But at this point, there was nothing really, and even during the announcement, I said the same thing. I knew that she wasn't using the new iPad. Otherwise, I would have mentioned that.
But I'm very weird about devices. Like, if they belong to you, I mean, you don't mind, but I'm very weird about, like...
Well, I am too. I don't want you using any of my devices.
No, I don't want to use them.
Right, and she doesn't want to use any of my devices, and I'm fine with that.
And even, like, the Kindle, like, I don't know why, like, if your iPad is sitting next to me, and I'm downstairs, I would rather go upstairs and grab my iPad. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, and I think that's fine, because generally speaking, we have settings. I've never been a multi-user kind of guy. And luckily we've got that. Yeah. We've got the ability to be on the iPhone, the iPad, different computers, throughout the house. Not everybody is as lucky, but and trust me, I'm just as fine with that. And I have now the iPad 2. Like I said, there's no problem with it. I have it downstairs now in case I want to grab something quick. But sometimes I'll even grab the MacBook Air and type on it if I need to key up something or use a keyboard extensively to write something. Because I don't usually it's just light email work on the iPad.
My stuff either.
No, I don't grab your stuff. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in grabbing your stuff. She's my wife.
I wonder.
I can grab. Legally, I need to grab your stuff.
I guess because we both have our own, and it's like why mess yours up if you've got.
Honey, I don't think there's. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, actually, hit record, hon.
Okay.
We were just having a conversation during the live broadcast. Diana was saying that she doesn't like using any of my computers, and I was saying I don't like using any of hers. I've never been in a scenario where I had to share a computer. Ever. Have you?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I don't know. Anybody else out there, have you been in that, like a family... Well, okay, family computers back in the day, like Commodore 64, before user accounts and everything. I cannot imagine sharing any kind of device with anybody, or wanting to. But it's nice to know that even in the same house, Diana was saying that... she would rather, if she saw one of my iPads, because I've got iPad 2 and the new iPad, if she saw it sitting there and she needed to check something, she would rather go upstairs and get her iPad to do something rather than use the iPad that was on hand, even if it was just simple web surfing. Right. I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with privacy, though.
No, because you wouldn't mind if I used it, but
no.
I guess it's maybe just comfort and just knowing it's mine and...
So it's a feeling of ownership. So I guess the question that I wanted to ask everybody out there, do you share your devices in your house? Are you forced to share devices in your house? Do you have multiple user accounts on any one computer? Of course, computers like smartphones or tablets don't handle multiple users as easily as traditional desktop machines. They seem to be built for single user scenarios. But even the notebook computers that we have lying around, they're there. You can get online. If you had a variety of devices sitting in front of you and none of them were yours in your household, would you use one of them just to do something quickly, or would you go upstairs to get your own? I'd probably do the same thing. If I saw sometimes, though, admittedly, sometimes like if I need to check a website, sometimes I just grab whatever's there to check it if I don't have something on me. Usually, I've got my phone, and we've got enough computers. I mean, we're probably edge cases here. People ask how many computers we have. I mean, I'm surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you count the arcade machine. Your iPhone. 9. 9 computers in this one room alone. Granted, this is kind of Grand Central Station as far as data is concerned in this house. People ask you the same? Really? Huh. Well, okay, I'm curious to know what your answer is.
Yeah. I mean, you don't mind if I use it. It's just I prefer not to use it.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I got nothing to hide, so. Except for crafting my teeth.
With my brother, I wouldn't ever touch his laptop.
Well, but I think that's teetering into privacy. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'd feel violated, because obviously, like, my inbox, I keep it, clean or whatever. I mean, you could easily go through there and see emails, and I'm like, well, they're there, I got nothing to hide. So it's not like, I'd worry about it. Technical questions, how do you respond? What tech do you use every day? Sometimes we like asking fun questions because we're never really sure how people are going to respond. And it's a fun question to ask because it's very telling, at least of the audience that does decide to respond to the question. We've written up a story here on LockerGnome.com. What tech do you use every day? For me, it starts out waking up, reaching over, pulling my iPhone off of the charging cable, checking email, social media points, maybe checking some free apps of the day, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, it looks like I got to do this. So that's one bit of technology. Then I'll go into where I work out on the Gazelle, turn on an Apple TV, which might as well be a Roku, because I'm right now watching Battlestar Galactica episodes, the new run, or the new series from the 2000s, and I'm in the middle of Season 2 right now. Amazing series. You can catch up on the entire thing on Netflix. That's why I said it could have been a Roku, but I'm currently using a previous gen, I should say, Apple TV. Then I guess I take a shower. Sometimes we'll listen to music by way of Sonos and my Pandora account. I guess it's a household Pandora account, Diana. See, there's something that we share.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense to have a Netflix account for you or for me. Or a Pandora account for you or for me, because
Pandora's free, right?
Pandora, we're currently using the free Pandora subscription. Netflix subscription, we're just doing streaming on demand. Then I walk into my home office, sit in front of these two beautiful 30-inch screens connected to a Mac Pro, get online, use software like the Mail app on OS X, my Exchange account currently. I may be moving my contacts over to iCloud. I'm strongly considering it. I'm a little nervous about doing that, though, because I'm not paying iCloud anything for that kind of data storage, and that would concern me. Then after that, what happens?
Meeting.
I guess you use the meeting, so we use GoToMeeting to connect with one another, TeamSpeak to communicate back and forth with Nomies, The regular old social media sites, websites, and whatnot. But those are, I think, my primary uses of technology that I use every day. And then throughout the day, depending on what's going on, sometimes now I'll pick up the iPad to play some Draw Something. I love Draw Something. I don't think I've played a game more than I have Draw Something. I'm like a fiend when it comes to draw. Like, I'm like getting mad at my friends. I'm like, what? You call that? David DeFranco draws a goose for coffee. And I'm like, what? He's like, okay, apparently I wasn't studying his wah-wah. I don't know what David DeFranco's wah-wah is. It sounds disgusting to me. I don't know why the world is fascinated of David DeFranco's wah-wah. It's a store, right? Not a part of his body. At least I'm just assuming it's not a part of David DeFranco's body. Have you seen David DeFranco's wah-wah? Oh, yeah. He draws this goose duck thing, and I'm like, how the hell was I supposed to get coffee from that? You couldn't draw this with brown in the middle and some steam coming out? It's not rocket science. It's just coffee. Not that that's a piece of technology, although coffee's a great piece of technology. Actually, sometimes I do use that. I guess I use the espresso machine sometimes. I'm trying to wean myself off. I'm not drinking it every day, but I guess that's a bit of technology. So anyway, what technology do you use every day? Leave a comment on YouTube or in the blog article, the story that we've posted on LockerGnome.com, so we can learn a bit more about you, so that we might be able to create more content that you would appreciate. David DeFranco's Wawa. There's a thought. Backlink of the day goes to windows-8-tips.com, who linked... That's a one hell... Got enough dashes in the domain there, dude? Link back to the Windows 8 consumer preview discussions on LockerGnome.com if you want to be considered the backlink of the day. All you need to do is link back to LockerGnome.com on your website. You have a website? You want one? Got some websites for you. Nice and cheap. Go.tagjag.com/GoDaddy. You could use GoDaddy, and if you use that special link, I think I can save you money on GoDaddy services. I know some people don't like GoDaddy. That's fine. They've been fine for me throughout all these years. Other domain name registrars have given people fits of rage. I have not, been thrown into a fit of rage, at least as far as what I'm using GoDaddy for primarily. You could use whatever you want. Thank you, by the way, for the 248 people watching now as we round out this particular live broadcast. Thank you for all the comments, the plus ones, the shares. Although there still is a disconnect here, folks. Gotta tell you, this is really strange. I'm not a math whiz or anything. 248 people watching live. Thank you. That's awesome that you're doing that. Wait, where'd that one person go? We had 240. Really? I was just talking about you and you leave? Well, they're not listening to me. I didn't want to watch that. That person sucked anyway. We didn't want that person watching. So it's cool that they left. It's cool. Don't worry about it. 247 is one we needed. But I'm seeing a disconnect between the 247 people watching and the 192 likes. It's just a little strange that's going on. There's a little disconnect there. It's a little disconnect. We're not talking about these losers here. These winners. Winners, losers. Winners, losers. Winners, losers. Big time winners. So, thank you for being a winner.
They want to know the countries.
Oh, you guys want to know the countries? Okay, fine. We'll go to the countries. Head over to LockerGnome.com right now. Head over to a LockerGnome link. You guys were clicking them in the description, right? Click them. Click them. Click it now. Click one of the links. Click it, because I'm going to pull up the analytics for LockerGnome.com and see live who are our top 10 countries visiting LockerGnome.com right now. You clicking? You looking? Do it. Do it. Do it. Here we go. Now that I'm finished frantically pointing, let's get a list of locations. I gave you guys plenty of time there. Plenty. We need a Q&A. What Q do you want? Come on, Vatican. Vatican's never pulled up into the... Whoa!
What?
Holy cow, UK represent! Dude, this is the best percentage from the UK that we've ever had in a live episode.
Whoa.
57, or I'm sorry, hang on. United States number 1. UK is they're number 2, but they're coming close. UK may beat the US. It may happen. The United States, 40.82% of the visitors on LockerGnome.com right now. United Kingdom at 25.85. That's strong. That's a huge showing for the UK. I can tell you, looking at these numbers every day. Australia, a very distant third. Canada, neck and neck with Australia. New Zealand after that. Denmark, Norway, Poland, Germany, Ireland. Italy fell behind, as did Mexico, Sweden, Belgium, and Brazil. That's kind of sad. So UK, you almost had it. And I realize you're in a completely different time zone. Okay, hon, I need the hot thing. She's been eating spicy Cheetos. I don't know if you guys have heard this. This is what you guys hear in the broadcast. If you hear this in the background. They're yours?
They can have some.
They can have some? All right. This is what she's been doing. And she's been helping. She's been, recording things. But have you guys been hearing that? And then this? You ever try to eat a Cheeto so that no one hears you? Like this.
But I'm dipping it in cheese, too.
Can you guys hear the crunch? Can they hear the crunch? You almost have to, soften it. All right, so she's eating it apparently with cheese.
Well,
so
I ate all of the big ones.
How do you define big Cheetos? She's eating it with nacho cheese. And you know what? This is nacho cheese. It's my cheese. That's actually her cheese. It's my cheese now. We're married.
Good.
Hot and crunchy. Woo! Boy, they're not lying. I was giving the UK a chance to catch up. They didn't. They did a little bit, but not much. So thank you. Thank you. While you're on LockerGnome, feel free to share the links that you find there. We appreciate it. And I see everything. I see everything that you guys do. It's kind of creepy, actually. So someone said we need Q&A. What do we need Q&A for? All right, so, okay. We're going to end this, I guess, with some Q. So, ask some questions here, Nomies. And feel free, if you're on YouTube there, ask some questions. The Nomies will read, and we'll answer some questions here. I'm waiting for the questions. Nothing yet. No questions here. Nothing there. Yeah, so far I'm not seeing the... See, this is funny. I asked him for questions, and then it's just nothing. It's like radio silence. It's hilarious. We're going to be doing a hangout this weekend. I'm hoping we can do the hangout in the morning. The discussion will probably be related to business and websites. We had a great... roundup last week, giving Nomies feedback on their websites. If you would like feedback on your website, all you need to do is join us. Nomies.com. It's easy to do. At some point in the very near future, we're only going to have annual subscriptions. So if you want to get in at a different level, now would be the time. I'm probably going to be making that switch over the weekend. I'm also going to be adding a new Nomies level if you want website promotions year-round. If you want 12 months of me or LockerGnome promoting your website, I'm going to have a new level for you, for website promotions. And you know what I realized? I'm looking at this still screenshot of me. Oh my god, this is sad. So ignore the cursor in my hair. Oh wait, there we go. You see this little... There's a screenshot of... I'm looking at that, and I realized I need a haircut. Why didn't you tell me? I really need a haircut.
You should grow it out.
I'm not going to grow it out. Because if I grow it out, it's like, foof. I mean, it's foof. That's the sound it makes, too. Just like when I wake up one morning, all of a sudden, foof. Oh, great, it's the hair. And this is great. This is fun. Wait. Here's a still shot. There's me, still shot, that foofing. Hey, I can do it again. Hang on. If I hit refresh, it'll do it again. Hang on. Wait. Oh, wait. That one's stupid. You can take still shots of me, and then this is what. Here's your challenge. take still shots of me doing something or waving my hand, and then put like little comic bubbles and caption photos, and then upload them to Google Plus and tag me, or Facebook and tag me. There's your challenge for the weekend. Or Twitter and tag me. Screen capture one of the parts of the video of me doing something. Here, I'll give you a crazy face. So that gives you a few to play with there. You can play with me. Virtually. Can you see Wicket down right there? Yeah. Here's Wicket. He hopped up on the chair. Just give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Oh, I'm sorry. Give him a centimeter, he'll take a kilometer. Is that better for all you people who are in your right mind? I cannot wait for the U.S. to take on the metric system. I mean, like, not take it on, like, head on, because obviously they're doing that now, but I mean, adopt it, like, officially. It makes sense. So that we can understand when we're talking to Canadians. They're like, oh, it's 12 degrees. Freaking cold. I believe we should go metric. Go metric or go home. And I am home. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As I said before during the broadcast, you're more than welcome to join us in the chat room that's streaming out over the web. We've got the TeamSpeak server with Nomi sitting in there that you're more than welcome to join 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later. There we go.